What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Quet D. I want to say first and foremost, thank you for the 1,000 subscribers that we finally reached on the channel. It means a lot. We lit. So I appreciate y'all subscribing to me, tuning into my content each and every day, anytime I drop a video, and hitting that subscribe button. Secondly, I want to tell everybody happy holidays. I hope everybody's at home enjoying their time with their family. If you're not at home enjoying time with your family, then we appreciate you doing whatever you do, whether you out here working, trucking, you know, and hopefully y'all can get home in time. Today, we're getting ready to finish off the top 5 lease purchase programs. We got some kind of pushback for Western Express, but hey, it'd be like that, you know. They're a good training company, and they give people opportunities, and some people need opportunities, which is why they were listed. But now we finna get down to the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes, the top 3 lease purchase programs. So let's go. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I got different goals, live by different codes. Need a mansion in the hills with a brand new rose. Money like the rose, it'll never fold. I'm the gold from a different mode. Thought I'd let you know. Kid'll take your soul. Curtis with the blow, Jeezy with the snow. Had to let him know. Had to let him know. Had to let him know. Had to let him know.
YouTube, we back. I got my list right here. Everything written down on the list. Before we read the list, I just want to say a couple things. I finally left Super Ego. I'm gone. I'm out the door. You know, I've never had an experience at a company as bad as Super Ego. Super Ego is top 5 worst companies, and they're all 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're not going to talk about the worst companies right now. Maybe we will in the future. But today, we're going to go ahead and top off this list, finish this list. So make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And you know the drill, man. Let's get to it. All right. So coming in at number 3, we have Hurricane Express. They're based in Oklahoma. Pros about Hurricane Express. They're great. They have great equipment. They come with a smart TV, inverter, fridge, and a microwave in a truck. It's like Prime on steroids. They're a reefer company. You could lease or lease purchase your own truck. You can pick your own truck after 90 days, and you can pick the colors of the truck. Like I said, they're like Prime on steroids, and it has steady lanes. The reason that Hurricane Express isn't higher on this list is because they have a minimum hiring age of 30. So I have not worked there because I'm not 30 yet. You will be out a very long time with them. Make sure you live in your lanes to optimize your home time when it comes to Hurricane Express, or you will not be home at all. You have to pay for your own reefer fuel, and they don't have a lot of lanes. However, because of the steady miles, the steady loads, if you don't mind being out a long time, and you want to make good money, we gave Hurricane Express a company rating of a 7.5 out of 10. Their pay is $2 a mile, or you can get percentage at Hurricane Express. All right, so then, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 2, I worked at this company. This is the company that I made $100,000 at in 5 months. For people who want to spread false information, it's Ascend Trucking. They're based in Jackson, Tennessee, and I can speak on Ascend Trucking in very depth detail. So the pros about Ascend, they are family friendly. You do get home. You will get home every weekend. Like, it is so hard not to get home at Ascend on the weekends, because they don't even do loads on the weekend. Like, you will be home. They'll have you home even if you tell them you want to be out. You will be near your house on Friday. I promise you that. They just gave a raise from $1.16 a mile to $1.75 a mile, and those are loaded miles. They raised their empty rates from $1.07 to the original rate of the loaded miles, which is $1.16. So now you get $1.16 for deadheads. No micromanaging at Ascend whatsoever. You barely hear from the safety department or any driver managers. Also, at Ascend, you get 90 miles of personal conveyance. But, you know, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it for the sake of the video. If you go over the 90 miles, once again, they would not bother you. Ascend gives you so much freedom as a driver. Like, they should really be number 1. Like, you have to call them. If they call you, it's not very often, and I love it there. You get great fuel savings on top of a fuel surcharge. At Ascend, you're saving at least $1.16 per mile. Whereas I remember when gas was super high, I was paying like $3.98 per gallon for gas because of their fuel discount. So not only do they pass on the fuel discount, they also pass on the fuel surcharge, which is great. They have low maintenance costs on the trucks. So with their lease program at Ascend, your trucks come from Penske or Ryder, and you're not responsible for the maintenance on those trucks at all. Like, I never paid for a tire, I never paid for an oil change. All that was at the responsibility of Penske, which also added to my income. That's not overhead, I'm sorry. So it was nothing but an opportunity to make money there. All their trucks have inverters. 98% of their trucks have fridges. The trucks are governed at 70. And they have the load board. You know, you go on there and you could pick 2 loads at a time, and you could plan yourself at Ascend, which made running there so easy and effortless. Beautiful. They run the Southeast and the Midwest, mainly in the Illinois area to Texas. You go to Ohio. Sometimes they have loads going to New Jersey. Sometimes they had loads going to PA, but it's not often that you were going past Illinois. But you would definitely go to Illinois. You would go to Chicago a lot. A lot of their customers are in Chicago and Ohio. They have Home Depot accounts. They also have Wayfair accounts. The Wayfair account from Texas to North Carolina was a beautiful run for me on I-20. It was the fuel was cheap on I-20, in the southern states. So I would usually fill up in Mississippi, and I just run that 1,017 miles from Texas to North Carolina, and drop their Wayfair loads that they had there. Their trucks are Freightliners and Volvos. They have a few Macs, not a lot of Macs to actually list Macs, but if you want every single truck they have Freightliners and Volvos. They might have a sprinkle of an International here and there because, like I said, they do get their trucks from Penske. But for the most part, if they're buying the trucks themselves, they're buying Freightliners and Volvos. Have I worked there? Absolutely. And do I want to go back? Absolutely. All right. But, it's a lot of good, but just like any other company, they do have their cons. A couple cons to Ascend Trucking, Ascend Transportation. They have one main terminal, and that is in Jackson, Tennessee. The rest of their locations are drop yards, which are strategically placed. You can go find your empty trailer. You might have trouble finding it empty sometimes, but they do have drop yards in strategically placed locations. Depending where you live, you might have a drop yard next to you. They have one in Bessemer, Alabama. They have one in Charlotte, North Carolina. They have one in I'm trying to think. They have one in Atlanta, Georgia. They have one in Tupelo, Mississippi. What else they have? Not Tupelo. Yeah, they have one in Tupelo. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been to all their drop yards, but they have one in Nashville, Tennessee. They share TCW yards, but they have a good network of drop yards. So, you stay in that network of drop yards. Like I said, hauling for them, it would be effortless. Great company. Absolutely great company. The shop has gotten better, but they still have a bad shop network, and the response times, especially after hours with their shop, it's hard to get into contact with breakdown, because they're such a small company. Like, they're small enough to be considered a small company, but they have the network of trucks and trailers of a mega carrier. So, they have, shifts in the office, and with the shifts, you got one guy, he works breakdown, safety, everything at nighttime. So it's kind of hard to get in touch. Unless you have a Ryder or a Penske truck, then you can call a Ryder or Penske after hours. But if you have one of the actual company trucks, one of the Ascend trucks, then yeah, it would be hard to get in contact with the shop after hours. One thing about Ascend, they will pull loads that you plan on yourself to get other drivers home, leaving you with fuel costs or missing cheaper stops to make sure you don't fall victim to that. And what I'm saying with that, okay, say I have a load, right? I got a load planned from Texas to North Carolina, and I live in North Carolina, right? Not North Carolina, I live in Pennsylvania. So now my next load, I'm going to plan from North Carolina to PA. So I'm in the middle of my Texas load. I'm days ahead on time because it happens. It definitely happens there. It was very frustrating there, but the money was so good. You kind of deal with it. But you would be on the phone sometimes ready to cuss them people out. Just the fact of the matter. So, you're 30 minutes away from dropping it off, and you ready to go pick up your next load to take you to Pennsylvania. Next thing you know, you get a notification that XYZ pre-plan has been removed from you. So now you're like, well, damn, I done missed the fuel back here, or I don't fuel for this next load and it gets taken from you. And now you look like, okay, where I'm gonna get my next load from. So be wary of that. But besides that, those are the only cons I could tell you honestly about Ascend. And for me working there, Ascend was actually the trucking company that I stayed at the longest, so I can speak in detail about Ascend. But with their company rating, I would give them an 8.5 out of 10, because it's just too many pros that overweigh the cons. Like, it's no hassle over there at Ascend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and for the number one company, we have Frey Miller. They're a reefer company based out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's $1.79 per mile for all miles loaded and empty, and that includes the fuel surcharge as of 4/19/2022. Note that the fuel surcharge and then the discount rates depend on current fuel prices, as we all know. Their trucks are governed at 70 on the pedal, 73 on the cruise. Your first truck payment will be deducted on your fourth settlement, so you get a month of settlements without the truck payment, which is cool. Your truck notes range from $6.25 to $7.25. You get big fuel discounts. And the thing about their truck notes at Frey Miller, if you pick certain trucks, you won't have a balloon payment. Then afterwards, if you pick like the newer trucks, like 2022, 2023, from what they were telling me on the phone, then you might have a balloon payment from $30,000 to $70,000. No, $15,000 to $70,000. So if you pick the older trucks, the 2020 models, then you won't have a balloon payment. They have good communication, and you see that in the reviews online a lot as well. They say Frey Miller communication is top tier. I haven't seen too many people complaining about Frey Miller. All right, and they also have great equipment, nothing but Pete's and Kenworths. Personally, with my experience with the Pete, I've come to find out that I prefer Freightliners more. I think Pete's don't have enough storage space, especially in the overhead area, so I think I would prefer Freightliner now. They don't lie about mileage, which they say caps out at about 2,500. A lot of companies will promise you 3,000 miles and you never see it. So when I was talking to the guy at Frey Miller, he was telling me that their length of haul is about 1,400 and 1,700 miles. They are a reefer company. So if you want the length of haul and you want the mileage, the reefer companies are where it's at right now. So couple cons with Frey Miller. The home time. I see that a lot with the reefer companies, the home time. You see that a lot with the reefer companies because they hauling food and they have long hauls because, you hauling time-sensitive products to these warehouses. So these people at these warehouses, these refrigerated warehouses, need that stuff on the time that they get this stuff. It could be going out production lines and things like that. The driver managers, I hear that the driver managers are kind of hard to deal with at Frey Miller. I haven't personally worked there, but, just reading the reviews, just like they say the communication is good, the driver managers. So I don't know how it is for them playing the lows and things, but that's just something I've seen people complaining about a lot. I don't see a lot of negative reviews. It seems like a career company after speaking to a lot of recruiters and reading reviews. So that's why we placed Frey Miller at number 1, and we gave the company rating a 9 out of 10. I would actually be trying to work at Frey Miller. I'm filling out the application as we speak because it just seemed like it was just a place to be. So it's either between Ascend Trucking for me or Frey Miller. However, I am not at Super Ego anymore, and I do have a job. So, we happy where we at right now, especially for this time of the holidays. But once the new year roll around, we'll be looking for that permanent home. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all have been waiting on that list. I appreciate y'all being patient. I do work a job. I have been busy, holidays, kids. We got to make sure the kids right. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Happy holidays to everybody. And until next time, it's your boy, Quake D, and we out.